The Ford Maverick is in trouble, as Toyota just announced their compact pickup truck. Despite the Maverick's commercial success, it's still plagued with reliability issues, as well as the fact that its supply is still far lower than the customer demand. Toyota decided to take this opportunity and offer their vehicle that will fix these issues, therefore taking the crown away from the Maverick. So let's not waste any time and check out the show-stopping Toyota Stout that astounds everyone. A striking exterior design. Despite its massive success, the Maverick has always been perceived as a rather boring-looking car. Honestly, it looks like the most generic truck on the road today. Toyota has recognized that the market is looking for something a bit more exciting, which is why their upcoming Toyota Stout will have a much more striking and more contemporary design. First of all, the Stout will have a sharper and more robust design, making the car look more menacing. The fenders will have noticeably more flaring than the Maverick, and there will be an excess of unpainted plastic segments, making the car look more rugged. The front end will follow the current trend of the most recent Toyota off-roaders, and that is a combination of retro and modern design touches. This is most notable with the headlights and the front grille, which seem like a nod to Toyotas of the past. The side profile is also expected to be more athletic-looking than the Maverick, courtesy of the creasing on the lower part of the doors. Overall, the Toyota Stout is expected to take a lot of design cues from the recently revealed Toyota EPU electric truck concept. And if you're worried if the Toyota Stout is going to be an all-electric truck, don't be, as the Stout will come with a solid choice of powertrains. You see, just like the Ford Maverick, the Toyota Stout will share its platform with an already existing vehicle, and that, in this case, is a Toyota RAV4. But not just any RAV4. Rather, the Stout will share its platform and palette of engines with the upcoming new version of the RAV4. This means that we can expect a much wider choice of engines and powertrains compared to the Maverick. The base model is expected to come with a 2.5-liter inline-4 engine, which will produce a very respectable 202 horsepower, which is more than what the hybrid version of the Ford Maverick does. This engine is also expected to do 25 miles per gallon on average, which isn't half bad. Speaking of hybrids, the second engine that the Stout will be getting is a 2.5 hybrid, which is expected to get a power boost compared to its current iteration, meaning that we can expect well over 230 horsepower from it, as well as incredible gas mileage, up to 30 miles per gallon average. However, we're by far thrilled the most for the plug-in hybrid variation of the Stout. It is expected to be the most powerful version of the truck, and it is believed that it'll push out some odd 310 horsepower, making it both much more powerful than the 2.0 EcoBoost found in the Maverick, as well as considerably more fuel efficient. Not to mention that the electric range will be sufficient for you to drive it without ever turning your engine on around town. There's also been a mention of the venerable 1.6 GR-developed turbo 3-cylinder making an appearance. However, that is yet to be confirmed. But what doesn't need any confirmation is the fact that the Toyota Stout will be a better off-roader than the Maverick. The Ford Maverick has often been criticized for its very leisurely approach towards off-roading. There is virtually no variant of it that is off-road ready, save for the FX4 package. Furthermore, the Maverick Hybrid is an FWD-only car, which makes it even more situational than a pickup truck should be. Thankfully, though, the Toyota Stout is a completely different story as, since it'll share its platform with the RAV4, you can expect it to be more than sufficient off-road. The RAV4 in itself is generally considered to be one of the better compact SUVs when it comes to off-roading. However, its pickup truck brother will have increased ride height, stiffer suspension, and a front and back end that will allow for greater attack angles, only further increasing its potential off-road. Furthermore, the hybrid and plug-in hybrid variants of the Stout are expected to be AWD exclusive, giving Toyota a noticeable edge over the Blue Oval in this regard. Sure, it'll be a unibody pickup truck, which means that you shouldn't expect a miracle from it. However, it'll be leagues in front of the Maverick, which is just, well, appalling off-road, especially the hybrid. as we've already mentioned. Higher interior quality. As we all know, the Ford Maverick isn't exactly regarded as the best built vehicle out there, and while we could chalk that up to the affordable price tag, we're still bummed out that the interior is a rattlefest, complemented by lackluster seats and technology, especially for the lower trim levels. Well, the Toyota Stout is expected to offer a better cabin experience than the Maverick, as it is expected to share the vast majority of its interior layout with the upcoming RAV4. Sure, it won't have the same level of interior quality as its crossover cousin. However, it is still expected to have at least some soft-touch materials, and the seats are most definitely going to be of higher quality than the Maverick. Not to mention that ergonomics, as well as the technology, are expected to be considerably better than the Maverick. That, though, wasn't hard to do, as even the outgoing RAV4 looks like it's a light year in front of the Maverick, both in terms of interior design as well as the features it offers. However, although we like ourselves a cozier cabin, that's most definitely not going to be Stout's biggest selling point. Oh no, that spot has to go to the Stout's incredible reliability. Although most of the problems we've mentioned about the Ford Maverick can be neglected due to its low price, the fact that it's an incredibly unreliable vehicle most definitely cannot. The 2.5 hybrid has been rated as one of the least reliable powertrains currently available, as there have been numerous instances of the engine head cracking and releasing fuel and oil vapor. This then led to the engine combusting when these fumes got into contact with the exhaust manifold. And while this is dangerous in itself, the fact that there are lithium-ion batteries on board made such accidents very life-threatening. Well, you won't have to worry about that with the Stout, as all of its powertrains have already been well proven in countless other vehicles, most notably the outgoing RAV4. And not just that, but these powertrains will also be revised and improved for the upcoming RAV4, which means that the Stout 2 will be getting an upgrade in terms of quality and reliability. Out of all the powertrains, we'd most definitely recommend the regular 2.5 hybrids as the go-to option, as it has already been proven as virtually issue-free, and the upcoming version will only be better than the current one. However, with all of this in mind, we have to note that the Toyota Stout still isn't in production. So let's now talk about it. Release date and pricing. It's a shame that Toyota still hasn't introduced a Stout to their lineup. However, there is a very good reason for that. You see, the current iteration of the RAV4 has been on the market for nigh on 6 years now, which makes it very much due for a replacement. This means that basing an all-new vehicle that is supposed to be a bestseller upon an already outdated platform would make very little sense. This is why Toyota decided to wait until they've introduced an all-new version of the RAV4 before they announced the Stout. And since the all-new RAV4 is expected to hit the market later this year, there is a possibility that Toyota might announce the Stout alongside it. However, we believe that a much more realistic release date is going to be around a year after the RAV4's inception, because Toyota will have a much better insight into what's right and wrong with the platform, making the Stout as good as they can. Plus, since there aren't any compact pickup trucks apart from the Maverick and the Santa Cruz, Toyota has a bit more room to focus on the details that would allow it to beat out these two. But that leads us to pricing, and we wouldn't fault you for thinking that a vehicle that is better built and offers much more than the Maverick will be more expensive than it. However, you would be wrong, as the Toyota Stout is expected to have a lower MSRP than the Maverick. This is because, first of all, the Toyota RAV4 costs around $2,000 less than the Ford Escape, on which the Maverick is based on. Furthermore, Toyota's strategy of using only one basic platform for the majority of their vehicles will allow them to bring down the cost of the vehicle even further, without needing to lower its features. However, you shouldn't expect a night and day difference in pricing, as the Stout is expected to start from around $22,000. Now, this might not sound impressive compared to the Maverick's $24,000 price tag. However, you need to remember that you will be getting a better built car that offers much more for a lesser price tag.